Today, Senior Living Resolution brings to you an interview with Mike Jorgenson, elder law attorney, to discuss his area of practice and how he can help seniors and their loved ones with probate and long-term care planning.
And we are elder law attorneys. What that means is elder law attorneys are the kinds of attorneys that help you with end-of-life type matters, including government benefit planning. Elder law attorneys are the only attorneys that do government benefit planning. And so when you meet with us, we look for veterans benefits if possible. We look for Medicaid if possible. We're looking for ways to make your assets last longer if you need government assistance to help you pay for expensive long-term care costs, especially nursing homes.
Yeah, and I come from that background and I've dealt with that quite a bit, and that's how you and I crossed paths a few years ago. And here more recently, I wish I would have reached out to you prior, losing a parent, kind of going through a lot of things. So that kind of segues us into wills and trust. What do you think are some of the key components with like wills and trust?
Well, anytime we're doing estate planning, which includes wills and trust, it's nice to have good information. For example, there's a lot of information that you get from bankers and insurance companies and brokers and from the web, and it just isn't accurate. So the biggest thing is to get reliable information. Most people believe that if they have a will, they don't go through probate. That's not true. If you have a will, you go through probate.
I learned that. I have to tell you, I learned that firsthand. I really believe that will that we had written for my father was pretty much, we were free and clear, and then thank goodness I had somebody like you in my corner, which I really appreciate, by the way. But I've also learned a lot too. So what we want to do is help others. So that's good. So what are some ways that we can avoid probate?
Well, the best way is there's three categories of property most people own. They have a home, that's called real property. They have personal property, which is your furniture, your jewelry, your cars, your boats. And then they have intangible personal property, which is like checking and savings, money markets, CDs, life insurance, retirement, stocks, bonds, annuities. And we can avoid probate by planning ahead. For example, on our real property, our homes, our second homes, the best thing we can do is prepare by either using in Florida enhanced life estate deeds or using a trust to put our homes in either now or at our passing away. With the enhanced life estate deed, if we reserve a life estate and the right to mortgage it, sell it, rent it, transfer it, we can often avoid probate on our real property in Florida. Then on our personal property, the legislature says we can make a list. Who do we want our car to go to? Who do we want our watch to go to? Who do we want our rings to go to? And as long as the beneficiaries are not fighting about that, they honor your will, your directions, probably don't have to probate that. On your intangible property, and this is critical because we see people who have beneficiaries designated and we see two problems. First of all, they're not current. Second of all, they don't have contingent beneficiaries. But if every account, I'm talking every CD, every money market, every bank account, every stock, bond, and annuity, every insurance policy, if you have a beneficiary designated, it doesn't go through probate, it doesn't go through a will, it goes directly to that beneficiary. So we can avoid probate by using enhanced life estate deeds, personal property lists, and beneficiary or pay on death designations.
That's great information. When after experiencing what I experienced, I went through and I talked to a lot of people, and they kept saying, well, you had a will, I don't understand, why are you in probate? So I learned a lot during that process. When is a good time for a senior or even their family to start some form of estate planning?
Well, I think anytime anybody is over 18 years of age, they should start actually beginning estate planning. But when we're talking about long-term care, a lot of long-term care is triggered by events. I've just come back from the doctor and I found out I have a disease that might cause dementia. I went to the doctor and I had a stroke. Right. There are events that happen in your life that create a crisis. That crisis we can plan for and we can still protect you. It's better to avoid the crisis planning. It's not unusual for us to ask our clients to think about 5 years in advance. And the reason why is because nobody wants to go into a nursing home.
No.
Nobody wants to go on Medicaid. But if Medicaid can help subsidize the $7,500 to $12,000 a month nursing home bill by using government benefits to help subsidize that, so whatever estate they have left can be used to supplement what Medicaid's not going to pay for, we're looking 5 years out, because Medicaid has a 5-year look back. So, I don't want you to be like one of my clients last week. How old are you? I'm 104.
Wow.
What do you mean you're 104? Yes, I thought it was time I planned my estate. I think we should do it before we're 104. I think safely, as far as long-term care planning, 60s, 70s are a good time to at least get introduced to how do we start protecting ourselves.
I think one of the things that, probably that we have to look at is, whether it be assisted living or be nursing home and even, any type of adult daycare, all of these things are need-driven businesses, and most people make those decisions when something bad has happened. Mom had a fall. I think we need to get somebody in here to help. I think where your goals are at with senior council and my goals with senior living resolutions is that we want people to be aware and educate them ahead of that so that they're not making hasty decisions, that they're making very informed decisions, and when that time comes, they're ready. They're all game planned, they've got their ducks in a row.
And do you know where we see that, Chad, is when we have our 40, 50, and 60-year-olds planning for mom and dad. Yeah. And they come in because mom and dad have either asked for help or it's obvious that mom and dad need help. And then so we help the parents, which sometimes can be crisis, but the 40, 50, 60-year-olds are listening and they're saying, I don't want that to happen to me. Yeah. And so they start planning for themselves, and that's a perfect age.
Yeah. Well, you should be learning through the experience of others, right?
Right.
So, let's talk real briefly about, and we kind of hit on it real briefly, but let's talk about Medicaid planning. And I know you've been, in law since '86, and I'm sure you've seen a real big increase in those that are going on to Medicaid. It's a little bit more difficult to plan for $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 a month, which some of these places are charging. So how are you seeing that happen? I mean, and what do you think are the keys that people should look into, and when should somebody start saying, I think we need to probably look into Medicaid?
Well, great question. In our 50s and 60s, we should be looking at our own individual long-term care insurance policies. Okay. I'm a firm believer in that because long-term care insurance in Florida can help you stay at home longer and can help you with the assisted living costs. Right. Absolutely.
And it's up to $150 a day.
Oh, easily. Easily, yeah. And sometimes more.
Yeah, but you got to get on those, like you said, in your 50s and
yes.
Yeah.
While you're insurable. Now, when you're in your 80s, you're not going to get long-term care insurance in most situations. So the thing to look at is if you think it may be 5 years before you would have a Medicaid episode, meaning you don't plan on having a stroke. Of course, none of us know when things are going to happen, but if you're generally good health, but in the 80s and the 90s, people start having nursing home type incidents happen, strokes, severe dementia, and you think that you might be a candidate, it's actually cheaper to plan ahead and use a 5-year irrevocable trust, for example, than it is to not implement a plan and then go through a crisis plan. So I think 5 years ahead of time is absolutely essential. We can do a lot more with 5 years lead time. If you don't have 5 years, don't worry, we still have crisis planning. And the biggest thing to remember on that, Chad, is the government's going to tell you you have to spend everything down before you're eligible for government assistance. And that's partly correct. What they don't tell you is get together with an elder law attorney who can help you legally plan to position your assets in a way that they can be used to supplement what Medicaid's not going to pay for. And that's the key, is that I don't care if you had a stroke today and you need a nursing home today. we can still have a plan that can help protect and supplement what Medicaid's not going to pay for.
That's great. So Senior Living Resolutions is all about bringing real people together with real solutions, real advice. And Mike, if you want to get in touch with Mike, you can call him at 904-619-8890. He's in Jacksonville, Florida. We're all over Florida, but I'm sure Mike can still help you out. He also, too, you can go to Senior Living Resolutions website. We have a direct web link, Senior Council logo there. You can click on it. It takes you right to the web page. I've had great history with Mike and his group. They've been very good to me, as well as a lot of my past residents and seniors. So we're very excited that we're partnering up. Look for more videos from Mike and his team in terms of some other different pieces of advice that we can help you guys out. So Mike, I really appreciate it. Anything you wanted to add?
Well, you do bring up a good point, is that we are Florida attorneys, so we're going to know Florida law, not so much the other states.
Right.
But if you're in Florida, even though we don't practice in the whole state of Florida, we are part of an organization called the Academy of Florida Elder Law Attorneys. We have excellent resources we can send you to in Florida where you live if it's not in the Northeast. We also are members of the National Association of Elder Law Attorneys. That means you need an elder law attorney in New Jersey or in California or in Washington. These are top-notch elder law attorneys that we feel very comfortable associating with. So we may not be the ones who help you, but we can find somebody or at least direct you to possibly somebody who can help you.
Give Mike a call, give his group a call. I'm sure they do consultations. They can help you out, point you in the right direction. They have a lot of great resources at their disposal. And we're just happy to partner up with you.
Well, Chad, it's been a pleasure, and we have been honored to be associated with you and your family, and thank you for thinking of us.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much.